Hey y'all, welcome to Keeping It Real Estate with Kristen. I'm Kristen Goyette. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Motto Mortgage, and this podcast is about all things real estate. Today I've got a special guest with me, a local guest, Mr. Poole with Poole Realty right here in Kinston, North Carolina. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
happy
so
to
much
be here.
for taking time out to come on. I'm so happy to have you.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey into the real estate world.
Oh boy, my journey into the real estate world started when I was super young. I'm a third generation real estate agent.
Awesome.
So real estate's something I'm grown up around. My first summer job was putting out for sale signs in front of houses
Cool.
for my dad. And that was back when for sale signs were 4x4 posts with big metal swinging signs. So that was kind of how I got my start into real estate. Leaving college, I graduated a degree in political science, law, and theory. Wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
Went out to California for a year, did an internship at a law firm, and decided it probably wasn't the route I wanted to take.
Right.
So came back to North Carolina, held a variety of sales positions. I've sold everything from insurance to cars.
Okay.
Trying to do something other than the family business for a while,
Right.
as most young people do.
Right.
And finally gave in a few about 14 years ago.
Okay.
And decided to get my real estate license, and it's been on go ever since.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
you've been doing this for about 14 years now?
I got my real estate license 12 years ago, about to be 13 years
Wow,
ago.
okay.
But I worked for the company in a variety of capacities related
Okay.
to real estate before I actually got my license. So,
Awesome.
been licensed for 12, going on 13 years now.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. So what's been your biggest strategy to building your business?
Well, I got into real estate right after 2008.
Yeah, the big crash.
So residential was not the world that it is today. At that moment in time, I concentrated on commercial and industrial real estate. But moving into residential, my biggest strategy has been honestly marketing my brand, social media marketing, putting a huge emphasis
Right.
on social media marketing. We used to have Homes magazines back in the day.
Right.
What is it, like 80-90% of buyers, sellers start their journey to agency through the internet.
Right.
So obviously as agents, that's something we have to recognize, and my focus has really been building my brand on social media, becoming recognizable to those out and about on social media, since that's the statistics say that's where they start.
Right. And
Yep.
you've started a Monday morning market update.
Yep. Do a Monday morning market update every morning. We record it at 9:30 in the
Okay.
morning, have coffee with my parents every morning, then go and do my Monday morning market update. And really, it's informative for buyers and sellers
Right.
out there. I really put it out to be informative for agents around town, just as a quick Monday morning recap of
Okay.
what's going on in the market. And I think I think a lot of people enjoy it, even if they're not in the market for
Right.
buying or selling a home. I mean, it is nice to know how your community's performing
Absolutely.
in the real estate world. Homeowners, like to know the value of their home is appreciating,
That's right.
depreciating.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
it's something fun to do. It's multi-purpose. We have fun doing it.
Yeah, well, I enjoy it. I tune
Thank
in
you.
every Monday morning to see your market update.
Thank
And
you.
so I think it's a great idea, very innovative. And like you said, we've got to tune into this real, social media world in this generation.
We do.
So that was very good.
We do.
So tell me about the first conversation that you have when clients come to you ready to buy or sell.
My first conversation I have with any client, whether it's buying or selling, is building a rapport with them. If you jump straight into advice on your path from here, how it looks, you miss that rapport building process. And I like to become friends with my clients. I like for them to get to know me. I like to get to know them. whether it's what their family does, what their jobs are, what their history in Kinston or their history before they're, deciding to come to Kinston is. Rapport is so important to build with your clients. It creates a personal level to your relationship with them, and they have to trust us. I mean, they're literally entrusting us with a major financial decision.
Right.
And whether you're a lender or an agent or really anybody involved in that process, it will help your relationship with your client tremendously to build that rapport with them and know that they trust you.
Right.
And it'll make the process from that point moving forward so much easier. Now, moving on to the process of buying or selling a home, buyer side, my emphasis, even in this crazy market that we've had over the past 3 years, has always just been slow down.
Right.
Take a breath.
Right. Right.
Soak up every part of this process. Think about your decisions. People tend to get caught up in their emotions when they make major financial decisions, both good and bad.
Right.
So, sometimes I can see like that light in a client's eye when they walk into the right house.
Right.
And I'm like, well, let's just wait for the home inspection, because sometimes those make the right house a wrong house.
That's true.
So whether it's positive thinking or negative thinking, I always encourage them to slow down and, let's just take this step by step. I'm here to guide you through it, and we'll be better off for it in the end.
Absolutely. Haste makes waste.
That's right.
That's good. I love that. If you're helping them to calm down just a minute, let's look at the big picture.
Now, that's been difficult over the past couple years, in this crazy market where if I have a home that I'm showing to a buyer and I know it's going to be all right, maybe we need to speed up our slowdown here. If that makes any sense, we just speed up our slowdown a little bit. But that's really where it helps having an agent that you trust and where that rapport comes in.
Right.
Because by the time you're telling them, hey, we probably need to make a decision on this quickly.
Right.
They trust you.
Yeah.
And they trust you to guide them correctly through that decision.
Right. I literally had a client call me this morning, and I'm not an agent, but I'm her lender, and she was just voicing some frustration that the market is still hot, and every time she finds a house, they're like, you got to hurry up and make a decision. But she's got 4 children that she's trying to make a decision for or consider in her decision making, and she's like, it's so hard. I can't just make it that fast, and by the time I decide, and it might even be 24 hours. It's not taking her like a month. Yeah. But it's already off the market.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, especially in this market when you have homes that are in the right price range. I mean, for Lenore County, we're speaking 150 to 275.
Right.
Move-in ready. All the things buyers like. There's going to be multiple offers on those houses.
Right.
And that's a conversation I've had with a lot of other agents here lately. I've been running into agents who have clients that don't want to get into multiple offer situations. And while that's understandable, because a lot of them have been burned, in this market, they're hesitant to get in it. But I mean, any home right now in this market that is worth its weight and move-in ready, well priced, it's going to get jumped on. And I keep telling them, y'all are missing out on great opportunities. But again, I think that's where that rapport comes into hand. If their client doesn't 100% trust them to guide them through that multiple offer situation correctly, it generates some hesitancy.
Right. And I'm kind of fresh to the real estate world. Just started last June. And so I came in right at the back end of the wonderful low interest rate, super crazy market. But from your perspective, the market's still interesting. I mean, it's still hot. Like you're saying, houses are not sitting on the market. So that's interesting to me. What do you think that is? People are just kind of recognizing why the interest rates are up a little bit and how the economy plays into all that?
Well, I can tell you the exact answer. It really, number one, there is a humongous shortage of single-family residential homes across America. I mean, we need to build 13, 14 million more units of single family residential homes to supply the need. And I think you're seeing that here even in Lenoir County. I mean, being a lifelong resident here, I was born at the beach, but moved here when I was a very young child, like 4 years old.
Gotcha.
So lifelong resident.
Right.
I have never seen the amount of construction that's going on single family residential wise in Lenoir County. I mean, even in the city limits, right outside the city limits.
Yep.
I mean, it's
exciting.
Crazy to see, as I think the market's responding to that. I mean, it's responding to that need for homes.
That's a good point.
And then also, you know, this interest rate isn't going anywhere right now. I'm not saying it won't fluctuate a point here, a point there.
Right.
But, you know, it's not going to drop back to 2 next month. It's not going to drop back to 2 next year.
Yep.
It's just not going to happen. The economy doesn't work that way. It takes time to adjust to, you know, interest rate increases or decreases.
Right.
I mean, the market will follow, but it takes time. So, you know, I think buyers are just kind of realizing, the ones that were on the fence and they were saying, hey, you know, I'm going to wait on it. Maybe the interest rates will go back down. I think the reality set in and they're like, all right, well, not really going anywhere. Housing prices are still coming up.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking even for basic starter homes here in Lenoir County. I mean, we're seeing incredible appreciation rates.
Yep.
And that's what I tell all my buyers that are fearful, hesitant, and even my sellers that are like, I don't really know if I want to leave because, you know, I'm going to have to up pay for anything I get. And I'm look, the appreciation is like through the roof right now is for around here.
Right.
And, you know, so, you know, whatever worry you have, let it be calmed by the fact, you know, you know, a couple of years down the road, you know, you'll be okay.
That's right. That's
you'll
right.
be okay.
Very true. So, how many families did you serve last year?
That is one of the questions that you gave me that I probably should have looked up.
You can give me a guesstimate.
I think it was between probably 30 and 45.
Okay,
but cool. Like I said, I also do commercial and industrial. So client-wise, probably in the 60 plus. Residential-wise, 35 to 45, somewhere in there.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And so what's your service area? Are you just Lenoir County? Or
Lenoir County and the surrounding areas. Pretty much, I concentrate Lenoir, Greene, Jones, our immediate area. However, I do a lot of work at the coast. I love showing beach houses.
Absolutely.
I love trying to break into that market. It's a really good one, and it over the past couple years, I mean, it's seen such incredible growth.
Right.
And it's something I spend a lot of my times on the weekends at the beach, so it's a way I can be with my family on the weekends, and you know, while I'm still new to that market relatively, you know, it allows me to work a little bit and build some rapport with some clients around there.
Absolutely.
And but I obviously who wouldn't want to, you know, show
Isn't
beach
that
houses,
all,
show beach houses and work at the
Isn't that
beach.
all of our dreams to one day have a beach house, or most people anyway?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been going to Emerald Isle since I was a young girl, and that's where we always went. And the growth there has just been amazing.
Crazy.
And Swansboro, I mean, it's bleeding over into Swansboro and Cape Coral or wherever, but it is just, like you said, amazing. So why not tap into that?
Yeah, I was born, we lived in Atlantic Beach at the time I was born, and I bought my place in Atlantic Beach, and I'm telling you, the growth, we moved to kind of started going to Emerald Isle, teenage years, mid-adulthood, and then came back to Atlantic Beach and was just starstruck at the development around there, and so that's obviously a market I'd like to spend more time focusing on and developing a rapport with the community there.
Yeah, awesome. So what's been your biggest challenge this year for your business? Sorry for our little friend. He loves when I talk about real estate.
A little guy in the eye.
You have to give him a name.
So my biggest challenge really, being a single broker business, my brother has his real estate license and my dad does too. They mainly concentrate on stuff within the company. But you know, I want so bad like to build a team, and I'm actually bringing somebody on in the few coming weeks. So I will have my first addition. So stay tuned for that announcement. But yeah, really just growing my business as a single broker is that's been my biggest challenge to overcome. Because it affects how I budget my money.
Right.
It affects what I can expand to or commit to.
Right.
Right now I would love to have 10 sellers a month, but realistically, could I handle that?
Right.
Probably not.
Right.
So recognizing what my limit is as a single broker to serve my clients with the right agency, give them their due duties. That's probably been my biggest challenge in recognizing where my limit is and where I'm having to say, well, I can't handle this, and I probably need to add some agents to really handle this workload.
Right. Well, that's wise.
Yeah.
So do you have a or tell us in your 12 years or so of being an actual agent about maybe all of our transactions are meaningful.
Yeah.
But one that maybe you just will never forget.
I actually can't. I was so happy you asked this question because I close on it Friday.
Oh, okay.
So,
cool.
Not a typical it's a vacant lot transaction on St. George Place. It was the location of one of my childhood homes.
Okay.
But that wasn't what made it really special. The pad for the lot was actually never built up correctly, and we had to end up tearing the house down due to some moisture issues and excavate all the dirt, replace it. And then we put the lot for sale to kind of recoup the cost incurred by tearing down the house and excavating the lot, putting it where it should be. But a friend of mine, and I can't disclose his name because we haven't closed yet, but a friend of mine contacted me, and his wife's parents both suffer from terrible dementia.
Oh.
And they live at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend and his wife live here.
Gotcha.
And they bought the lot to build an exact replica of her parents' house so that when they moved them here to town, nothing was different.
Right.
They're building the exact
confused.
same house, putting everything in the exact place that it is at their beach house. And but boy, that tugged the heartstrings.
I know, I'm about to get teary-eyed because I'm a nurse by trade, so I've dealt with a lot of demented patients in my
that really tugs the heartstrings, and to me that's just super meaningful because most of the clients I deal with out of necessity.
Right.
They need to sell their house. They need to buy a house.
Right.
Yes, there's ones that find the perfect one, and you see that look in their eye, and you're reminded like these are the moments of why I do what I do.
Right.
But just being involved with that and hearing that story, man, that
is a good story. That's a very
it
good
got
story.
me. It got me. I'm a sensitive Sally anyway. I'm the guy. I'll cry at SPCA commercials. Like Sarah McLachlan just does it to me every time. So but that one really got me. So that was really special. I enjoyed that.
That is. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That is a very good story. So flipping over to first-time home buyers, because I do love a first-time home buyer.
Absolutely. Realizing the dream.
Yes, exactly. Do you have any specific advice or information that you share with the first-time home buyer? Or if we've got anybody watching today that's a first-time home buyer, what's your golden nugget of truth or whatever?
My golden nugget of truth is stop renting. Oh my gosh.
Look,
now I'm a landlord. I manage a lot of properties, and I have rental properties of my own. That is one of my biggest source of clients. I encourage them, like, look, renting is a temporary
it's a stepping stone. Absolutely.
Like,
there's nothing wrong with it.
The day you start renting should be the day you start preparing yourself financially to buy a house.
Right.
And I understand circumstances are different for everybody. Even people midlife have to step back to renting for for whatever reason, this, that, and the other, and that's okay.
Happens.
Like I'm not saying don't rent, but I am saying let it be a stepping stone or a step in your process. No matter where you're at in life, just let it be a step in the process, and let's get you prepared for home ownership.
Right.
Other than that, don't max out your budget is another huge one. A lot of people go to their bank and their lender and they get this great pre-approval. Mm-hmm. And, and while that's all good and well, I tell people to stay conservative in your price of homes that you look at. If you're comfortable stretching it out to the max, by all means. But I ask them, to consider that. Because, there's months that, some of us are flush and some of us are bust. It happens, really. I mean, things come up, your car breaks down. Right. And you have to be able to handle your mortgage payment no matter what life throws at you. True. And especially that and building a 3-month reserve of savings before you ever even start saving for your down payment. Because that 3-month reserve of savings is your cushion. Yep, and it can be a huge lifesaver, like you said, when cars break down. And it looks great on a lender's perspective as well. Absolutely, you see, if you have somebody come in, put in an application and see they have that cushion in their account, I think that reflects pretty positively on their preparation and who they are as a financially capable person. That's right, and they're showing that discipline, which is probably helping their credit score because they're probably disciplined in other ways. And, that is good advice that I also share with clients whenever, some people say, some people come and say, I want this $235,000 house, and they can probably afford a $350,000 house. So those people are good. Then you have these other people who say, I want to know what's my max I can afford. And so with those people, I also have to have that conversation. Listen now, I don't know how many times you fill up your gas tank, if your children go to daycare, what's your grocery budget, your cell phone bill. There's a lot of things that you need to take into consideration. That's right. When you're thinking about this max that you can get approved for. But to each their own, like you say, I just educate them so I can sleep at night, and then the decision is theirs. That's right. All we can do is lead them to the water. Yep. So you've been in real estate technically since you were a child, so you've seen a lot, lots of changes, even though you may not have been directly in it or indirectly. But overall, what would you say the biggest thing is that has changed in your journey in real estate? Biggest thing that has changed. I think to me the thing that makes the biggest impression on me, and this is more so just the course of time that I've been alive in a sense of the economy, everything, has just been the increase in the value of everything. Right. That's something I really not struggle with, but a lot of my clients struggle with. Let's say they haven't sold a house in 20, 30 years, and they're in the market to, sell their adulthood home and maybe move to their final home or something like that, showing them homes and watching them digest and process what you get for what you spend. Right. That's really just the biggest change. But I mean, as a real estate agent, our market changes every day. Right. I mean, and it's something we have to constantly stay on top of. I can't think of one that really stands out other than, the value of property and things like that. That's good. I just know staying on top of an ever-changing market that has so many different facets. I mean, I had a discussion with a client today just about the downtown district and how comping buildings down here, even that are a quarter mile away from each other, is extremely difficult because, we have a business district of downtown and a residential district of downtown. And, just staying on top of different neighborhood facets and neighborhood trends, especially learning a new community like the beach and becoming proficient and being able to confidently guide a client down there. You have to stay on your feet constantly. Right. And that's a big challenge. It's one I enjoy. Yeah. But that's always big changes, everywhere you go. You gotta be as proficient as you are in your most comfortable area, to feel confident about guiding your client there. So. Yep. But speaking about the house and trying to show people and help them understand what they're getting now for the amount of money. So Keith and I have bought 4 houses. We like to buy fixer-uppers. Yeah. Live in them, fix them up, sell them. That was my childhood. So we had a starter home. Paid like $65,000 for it back in 2002 or 3. I can't remember. And then, so we raised our children for the most part. So we were like, let's downsize again. And we go find something that's about that same
square footage and paid well over double.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, wow, things have changed. In 20 years, things have changed. So, yeah, it is a little bit of a culture shock when you're on that new buyer side and you've just been living in your house forever and it's time to go buy something.
It absolutely is, especially if you don't follow my Monday morning market report and you're like,
that's right.
I didn't know houses were selling for this, and I mean, even just over, like, think about 6 years ago, to now, if you were probably financially planning in your head, like, hey, we're going to downsize. We might save some money.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
Yep, it bit us in the butt, but it's all good.
But like I said, being in them, fixing them, flipping them, your returns probably shocked you too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's so funny. Y'all have done that. That was my childhood growing up. With my dad being in real estate, every single home we moved into, we fixed up as we lived in it, sold it. And we bound. I think I lived in 8 different houses.
Well, that makes me feel so much better.
In my childhood,
do you have post-traumatic stress, or my kids gonna have post-traumatic stress?
No, and it actually has made me super secure where I'm at. Like, I got my first house, bought my first house in 2010. I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right. 2010. And I'm never leaving.
Right.
I'm never leaving.
I think that's how my children are. They're like, we are not doing this.
We had a thought of like moving and getting a different house to kind of fit our family better. Right. But we've just decided to renovate. We're fortunate to have some space we can expand into.
Right, that's
so
cool.
We were just like, no, we're going to make what
right.
we have work, and we love that house, and we've my wife and I have gone through every stage. We bought that house together before we were married.
Okay.
Right before we were married. We only lived in sin shortly, people. But either way, it's made me like I'm as married to that house as I am to my wife.
Awesome.
I want to stay there forever.
Well, I never thought I would house hack. I thought I would. I loved the thought of buying one house, raising my children there, having them come back home.
Yeah, sounds great.
And having all those memories.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what happened. A switch flipped, and now I'm just like ready to do it again.
Well, it's exciting. It's exhilarating, and especially if you do put sweat equity into it, it's rewarding.
It is.
It's
so
extremely rewarding. And talk about your kids. That's a great lesson to teach your kids.
Yeah.
That hey, we can live here. And we can all, I don't know what age they are, we can all put work into this home, or they watch you put work into it if they're not old enough to help out on their own. And
they're lazy.
And I know we don't share the ultimate financial details, but I think they see it, they can see through your mood and how happy you are when that flip takes place. And so no, I no post-traumatic stress disorder.
Well, good. That makes me feel better. Yeah. I think I will wait until they finish high school at least to get my next house to fix up.
Well, now look, they leave after high school, so you got until they leave to get that free labor in. So probably do it a couple more times.
Your kids are young. My kids are older. They ain't helping do anything. That's right. No, they don't even know what sweat equity is.
I still stay there sometimes.
They don't even know what sweat equity is. So what has been your biggest goal for 2023?
Let's see. Just to become more proficient in my business. I always want to serve my clients the best that I can. I'm a human. I make mistakes. There's things I can do in my business. I could be better organized. That's always one of my goals, to be better organized. I have a wonderful assistant. I don't know what I'd do in the world without her. She's like my right hand. She's my left hand. She's like my right brain and maybe a little bit of the left sometimes. Thank you, Rebecca Harrell. I love you. But becoming more proficient in my business. There's always room for growth. There's trying new things and find a new a way to retain leads, lead generation on my own without paying for lead generation is a huge goal of mine. And there's ways you can do that through Google Analytics and certain programs, and really getting to know your atypical client and pushing your marketing toward towards them.
Yeah.
My biggest lead source, obviously still remains my rental pool and referrals.
Right.
So making the quality of my referrals better, just trying to improve my business overall. Like I said, I make mistakes, and I've always got room for growth, and I carry no ego, into my work about that. I always ask my clients when I'm done, what could I have done to serve you better?
Right.
No matter how happy you are, like, go through your brain. When did I let you down? When did I disappoint you? And, most everybody's real sweet about it. And they're like, oh, no, you didn't do anything. But I really value those clients that can give me,
some constructive feedback.
Constructive criticism and feedback. Just trying to better myself as an agent and continue my marketing campaign, stay consistent in things in my marketing, really. Because a lot of people, they try new marketing stuff and then they just kind of let it drift to the side, just remaining consistent. Because consistency, especially in social media marketing, is so important.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't even, sometimes I don't even think it matters what you post about. It's literally putting yourself in that algorithm and continuing your name being put in front of people.
Yep.
And eventually, even if they don't choose you as their agent, my goal, I don't care if you don't choose me, but I'm going to make you think about me.
Right.
You're at least going to say, well, what about Brooks?
Exactly.
I'm going to put my name in front of you so much, you're at least going to think about me.
Exactly. And I think that's why a lot of people fail in several different ways in life. You just don't give it enough time and you're not consistent.
Yeah, the diamond at the edge of the miner digging, is one of my favorite memes. I don't even know if they were called memes back then, but whatever. One of my favorite cartoons. You just see that miner giving up and sitting against the wall, and the diamond's right behind him.
Right.
And that's so true, though.
It is. It's so
true. In any business.
Yep.
Especially small business, because there's struggles in
and
every
especially in
small
real
business.
estate small business. I mean, it's such a
Oh,
roller
yeah.
coaster.
Yeah, absolutely, and absolutely, it's important in every business, but businesses that have tendencies to go up and down without your control.
Right.
You can do everything right in the world.
Yep.
Economy slumps. You're
slump, same thing. I like slap. I feel like it is a slap.
The economy slaps, you better be prepared.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you were not a realtor, what do you think you would be doing?
Oh man. Probably I would still be involved in real estate, just because my company, I'm a third generation realtor, but over time we've built up a pretty healthy portfolio, and I manage that as well. So probably just property manager.
It's just in your DNA.
Yeah, I couldn't. I love working in houses. I love being involved in people's decisions around houses. I like helping people obtain homes, whether it's renting or buying.
Right.
It would have to be something. I would either be a real estate investor or just a property manager if I couldn't be an agent. Now, for the sake of conversation, I got to pick something outside of that.
Well, I know you love outdoors, so I figured you would have said some kind of professional something.
Yeah, I probably want to run a charter boat, offshore fishing or something. I'm not even that great at that. But I love it. I'd want to do something outdoors. Yeah. Yeah, you're correct. If I had to pick something outside of
Facebook.
Yeah, if I want to pick something outside of real estate, I'd have to do something outdoors.
Yeah, gotcha. So, but we're going to wrap it up with one last final question. Tell us something fun or interesting about yourself that most people may not know.
I am the biggest nervous Nelly behind the camera ever. My heart is going 10,000 miles an hour right now. Yeah, this is something I've done through forced personal growth. Is kind of
same.
We had that kind of conversation leading up to this, and everybody that comments to me about my videos, things I do for homes. They're like, you look so great, and you just look like you're a natural in front of the camera. And I'm like, oh, if you only knew what it took to get that one clip.
Right, exactly.
When I first started doing videos for homes, my media team that helps me out, shout out to Magic Mile Media, y'all are amazing as well. My media team that helps me out, poor them, because it would take 6, 7, 8 takes to string together one of those videos. And that was a couple years ago. Now I can come in and I'm good for 1, sometimes 2 if I don't like the wording or something. So I'm getting better.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, but I'm pretty public about my life. I'm an avid outdoorsman. I love to be outdoors. I love real estate. Love my family. But if it's something people might be shocked by, it'd probably just be I'm terrible inside in front of the camera. Oh, it tears me up.
Well, you hide it well.
Well, good. I try. I try.
Well, thank you again so much for taking time out. And so, if anybody out there watching wants to use your services, how could they contact you?
Like I said, I'm Brooks Poole. I'm the broker in charge at Walter Poole Realty. My number is 252-526-8756. I'd love to help you.
And if you need a pre-approval to talk to Brooks, please let me know. I'm Kristen Goyette with Motto Mortgage Complete, 252-560-8632. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.